Hello everybody, I'm Chingmani and I'm gonna make a YouTube tutorial on how to build this house and specifically this nice round room because most people don't know that, well, you can't really make round walls, I can tell you that. But there is a way to make it look like you've got a round room like this, and I'm gonna show you guys by building this base game house again for you guys on stream. So basically, let's look inside here and you can see that we've got a tiny house because that's what it is. And we've got this round bedroom over here and a nice kitchen, some shelves here next to a stove, and it's more or less affordable for someone who just makes a new family. Little chess table outside. So as I said, it's base game only, and I see I have a wardrobe like right in the middle in front of this window. Maybe not the best choice of wardrobe, but I'm sure we'll be able to choose another one. Or just remove this window, that's an option as well. Anyway, we're gonna build the same thing next to this and I can show you how it's done. So I'm gonna turn my camera off right now because you guys don't need to see me the whole time. And let's go into build mode. Well, another thing you should know is we're gonna use a couple cheat codes. So we're gonna start by pressing Control, Shift, and C at the same time, and we get this little typing window. And then we're gonna type bb dot move objects. So I think you guys can read this. But now it says move objects, cheat is on. And then we're also gonna type bb.show hidden objects. So show hidden objects. And now we can test if we manage to do it, because if we type debug here, we should see the word debug. If you type the first one gets you a confirmation message, the second one doesn't, but you can test it by typing debug here and then you should have debug objects. Alright, so now we've got everything we need to build this, and of course we've got our base game. I mean, I have a lot of expansions, but we're not going to use all of them. So the first thing we're going to do is start with our round room, because that's the most important part here. And we are going to do that by clicking here, empty rooms, and we're gonna be placing rounded decks. So I don't know why there's two here, but I'm thinking that's the same one. And we're gonna start with one rounded deck. Oh, wait, that's the big rounded deck. Never mind. Alright, so there's a small one as well. So we're gonna start, oh, and this family doesn't have enough money, so we're gonna use a cheat code for that too. So we're just gonna type money and then the amount, and now we're getting exactly that amount of money. Right, so the round decks. So what you need to know about these is that you can make them smaller, but not smaller than this. See, red line doesn't work. But we're gonna make this one. We're gonna copy him and rotate it with the dots. Copy it again, rotate it with the dots again. And now we have a round room. Then very simply, we're gonna remove the fences in between. And we're gonna add another one. Let's see. Flat triangle. And let's add that. And now we can find this fence and put that here for now. And now this whole thing is one room. Now, what we're gonna do is move that room up. to 3 times. I think we might want to move it up one more time. Or actually, no, we're not going to do that. 3 times is enough. But you can experiment with that a little bit. So we're gonna choose our floor, and I'm gonna choose a base game floor that's pretty, this one. And I'm gonna put that in. Then the other thing we're gonna need is platform edges, and I'm gonna use this one. Nice and easy. And then we are going to change the fences, because as I said, this is not really a room. So I have to make sure I have only base game items. So let's filter only base game and go to fences. And then we're gonna get this tall fence, the tall paneled fence. And we're gonna choose something that makes it look wooden. And then we're just gonna change these fences out. So 1, 2, and it's a little bit tricky to click it, but it can be done as I'm showing you guys. And now we can remove this. The last thing we need to do is add this house, make this one higher. So before we were using this button to raise the platform, but now we're gonna actually raise the entire house by 1. And then we're gonna find our foundations, and we're gonna look for a pretty one, this one, and we're gonna add that to the bottom. And now you can see we have the bottom trim as well that we have over here, and this looks almost the same. Last thing we need to do is add a pillar. And let's see, which one have I been using? I think this one. Let's turn that into wood. No, it wasn't this one. Well, it wasn't. It's this one. And we're gonna add, no, it's not this one either. It's a bit difficult to find sometimes. Let's just go and click it. Which one is it? This one! Right. Alright. So somehow this only wants to be up 1 now. Oh well. We'll check that out later where that is. Alright, the platform isn't high enough. We have to lift it up 1 more time. Alright. Now we can move it, copy it again, and move it here. So sometimes it doesn't want to place things at the right spot right away. But that's okay. Now we can just move this entire room and rotate it however we like. And I'm gonna put it here just so the house is facing the same direction. You can see that when you move it, the pillars go up again. That's a little bug. So this will also happen when you download this house from the gallery, but just move them back and they're fine. Now we can add the rest of the rooms. And the first thing we're gonna do is use some half walls to make sure we get a little bit of a platform. So we're gonna make some stairs, which means we need a room here as well. Alright, so we've got a room here, and we're gonna raise that 3 times because we raised the other one 4 times. And we're also going to use the platform. I don't know why the platform edge has... Ah, right. We have to move this up again, because by moving the room we remove the platforms. But now you can see we can put it back. And now we can actually remove these half walls, because we already have a step. And we can put the floor in again. Oh, look, looking nice, right? So now we're gonna add normal walls for the rest of the room. And I don't know exactly how big I made this house. Let's see, 4. Alright, so that's 1 too big. Let's try it. 4 in this direction. Or is it 5? No, it's 4. Alright. So let's close that up and get rid of this one. And somehow it's not a room yet, but we'll make it a room like this. Add the floor, 2, 3, and let's see if there's another step. Never mind. Alright, so we're gonna raise this up only twice. And now we'll remove this. So now we created our steps to this area, and of course, since we've been changing stuff, the pillars have moved again. So you might have to move those back a couple times. But I think we're good now because we're done with the floors. Just gonna copy this this floor that we've got here. It's the base game floor. It's this one. But it's gonna take too long if I have to find everything every time. So let's make sure the outside looks pretty. Don't forget to make the colors for this because it's a separate room according to the game. So alright, so we've got our platforms right now. And so the little ledge at the bottom, we're getting that from here. But over here in the platform section, we've got something else. And we're gonna find this one. Make that a wood color. And we're gonna add that here. Because if we don't, it's sticking out over here. And we don't want that. So if we're using something big, it's gonna stick out. But if we use something small, like this one, it's not going to stick out. So that's why we use this one. And we could get that some more color if we like. Of course, we're gonna paint the inside as well. So that's looking good. We have to paint these ones an extra time. And now we're gonna add the bathroom. 1, 2, 3. 3 by 1. So with the shift key, you can do the entire room. We're gonna choose the bathroom color. Well, you can choose any bathroom color you like. So I'm just gonna copy and paste it again. I've been using this one. It looks like this when you're trying to find it, but that's just what I've been using. And then some bathroom towels. Let's copy them from here too. Just because it's faster. Alright, so that's those rooms. And as you can see, it's looking pretty much like the other one already. And it's pretty, isn't it? So now all that's left to do is make our furniture in our bathroom. And of course, we've got this little fireplace. And we've got this little area as well. So let's start with our fences over here. So if we just add some fences, we can draw them 1, 2, 1 to the sides, 1 more, 2, 3, 1 to the side, and 2 like this. And of course, we can raise this platform too. We're gonna raise that twice. We're gonna find this platform again, and we're gonna get it some nice outdoor type of looking wood for this deck. And we're gonna find us some nice pillars. Copy this one, copy it again, copy it again, And let's copy it a last time. Now over here I've also been using this one in a wood color. Let's pick something pretty. Actually, I've been using another one. Which one am I using? Right. Something dark. Right. Looking good. And now we're gonna have a look on the inside to this fireplace, because that's a platform too. The reason I'm using half walls for this is because it's easier to delete them again and to see what you're doing. So first thing we're gonna do is make sure we've got a wall to place this fireplace on. And the second thing we're gonna do is get the half wall again to make sure we get a nice shape. So it's gotta be a little bit high because otherwise it won't stick out to the floor if we're using this one. It completely disappears under the floor. This one's barely visible, so make sure you choose one that's high enough so you can actually see it. And then we're just gonna click this and move it up by 1. And now we've got to delete these again, because if we were to use half walls that are, for instance, very low like this, then there's a chance that your sim will not step over them. So we're actually gonna delete these walls and we're gonna find another nice platform to look at. So we don't want things to stick out, so that's why I used one with bricks from the base game. This one actually. Because this is one of the types of walls that actually doesn't really stick out. So it's looking pretty on this side. Well, we also need our fireplace. So our chimneys. Chimneys is what we can find here in roof structures. So this is roof colors, this is roof structures. It's filtered for base game only again. And find the one I've been using. And I believe it's this one. The high one. And I use the brick color. One of the brick colors anyway. I think it is this one. No, maybe not. Really? Not this one? Which one is it then? Or it's just the lighting? I don't know. Let's see, which one does the game think I used? The tall brick chimney. Alright. Apparently I used that one. Tall brick chimney with cap. Ah, right. Yeah, so I did use this one. In this color, apparently. Right, so with the dots we can rotate it a couple times, and we're actually going to place it pretty carefully, and then we're using Alt to move it back as far as we can while still keeping it on the floor. And we used another one on top actually to make it prettier. And let's see, which one is that? Of course, it keeps unfiltering, which is a bit annoying. So we use this one on top. So we're rotating this one as well. And then we're going to use the 9 key to move it up as far as we need it to. And eventually we're going to place it inside this thing. And then it's going to look prettier, basically. I don't know where that went. Alright, it went nowhere. Oh, let's do it again. So just a 9 key until it's high enough. Let's see if we can move this again. Make sure it's nicely underneath the other one. Looks nice, right? We can change the color to change the color. I misclick sometimes. To whatever we think is appropriate. Alright, and now we've got a chimney with a cap on it. The next thing we're gonna do is find our fireplace, which is in the living room area over here. And we're gonna use this one, but if we use it like this, it's gonna stick out, see? So it's a little bit too big. So we're gonna size that down and we're gonna use a bracket. So, I will type that for you. So that's this bracket. That's what we're using to size things down, and this one to size things up. So I'm just typing in the bottom, in the top area to show you. So now we sized it down and it works. Problem is though, if we're gonna put some flowers on top of there, they're gonna be floating above, right? So we don't want our flowers to be above. So we've got to fix that now. I'm gonna go get the flowers over here. So the easiest way to not have them fly above is to have a table. So we're gonna find a table, a coffee table actually. No, an end table. This one. And we're gonna move that up with the 9 key until it's just below the fireplace. So now we're moving that here. And we're gonna move that to the front. I'm gonna put all of these on top of the table. Let's see. Except the table isn't the right height, but alright. We're gonna size the table down a little bit, so now it's floating above the table. And we're gonna put the table at the right height right now. To make sure that our things are good. Alright. And then what we're gonna do is move this out of the way because we don't want to snap this to the place. And now we're gonna click all of them while holding the Alt key and we're gonna move them back. So we're just gonna have them floating in the air, but that's okay. And with the Alt key you can also rotate while you place. So now that they're no longer on the table, we can remove the table. And while pressing Alt, we can still displace them. And we are making this one smaller. And we're rotating this a bit until it looks pretty. And now we're just going to put our fireplace back and see what it looks like. And now we can see we have to place them a little bit more further back. So we're going to place them. Again, still holding the Alt key. I'm not letting that go because if I do, then they're gonna snap to the floor. We don't want them snapping to the floor, do we? So, let's put it back. Looking good. Alright. So, an important part with this building, as we go back to here, is our ceiling height. So, we have our ceiling height at the lowest, because if we don't, then these fences are not going to align with the walls. Because if we move our ceiling height up, like this, then our roof is going to be floating above. And we don't want that. So let's go down with the ceiling height again. And now we're gonna place some roofs. So we have to make sure that there is a ceiling here in order to place a roof. And we can place a ceiling by clicking here. And we're gonna remove that ceiling later. And now we're gonna put some roofs on. So roofing is fairly easy. You click the circular roof and you place it. So far easy enough, right? Let's make sure it's nicely in the middle. All right. So as we can see, the roof sticking out a bit. So we're gonna use these little arrows here and we're gonna drag them only once. And we're gonna make this roof a lot less high. See, this is better. Alright, and the next thing we're gonna do is use our end keys to make the roof invisible again, and now we can remove the ceiling again. Alright, with the home keys we get the roof back, and now we can place our other roofs. So we're gonna place this one like this. And we're gonna move this down a lot as well. Make sure it's less steep. Right, something like this should do. And now we have to make sure that our roof is painted, because if it's not, then we're gonna be in trouble later. This one also, this needs a little overhang over here to make it pretty. And we need to pick our roof edges. We're gonna pick this one, and I chose the green one, so we're gonna put that everywhere. Next thing we're gonna do is copy this roof and rotate it like this. So we have another roof here. And this one we're actually gonna move one over now. Alright. So we've got two roofs now, and the only thing is it's going to be a bit weird here. We're gonna need overhanging edges, which means we're gonna use another roof. But first we're gonna choose our roof pattern, and I'm going with this one, the dark variant. Getting all those roofs this color, and now we're gonna get another roof. We're gonna use this one. And we are going to place that here and make sure it's sticking out a bit so we can see it properly. And then we're gonna move it down. Alright, we do have to make sure that it's in the same place here. Alright, so where is it? Right. So we want to align this roof perfectly like this, and since the roof has certain places to snap to, it's pretty easy to do that. See? Now we want to paint it. Make sure that it's this color. We want to make sure that the roof pattern that we chose is on there as well. And the roof edge. So all of those things we're gonna put on there now. And then we're gonna resize it. So we're gonna size it down. Alright. And this roof actually sticks out by one. So now I just move this, we're gonna copy it, and we're gonna put the same one over here. And now we have the roof edges sticking out. Oh, pretty. Right. Now you can see that this roof is not quite aligned with this one, and the reason for that is it's not the same height. So if we move this up one, then this edge will go down, and now it's looking perfect again. So we fixed it. And the last thing we're gonna do is add one more roof to make this look a little bit better, and we're gonna use the roofs that are rotated, this one actually. And this is rotated, so we're gonna rotate this using the dot key. We're gonna give it the same roof edge again, all that stuff. We're gonna give it the same color again over here, and the same pattern. And after that, we're gonna place it. So we're gonna move that, and we're gonna put it on top here. We have to make sure that it's in the middle. Alright. So it seems to be on the floor now. That's better. Alright, and since we move this here, if everything is exactly the same height, you can see that. You'll see it a little bit when you change the height. But now it's looking really nice. You see? So now there's a perfect connection between the round roof and this one. And now all we need is this roof, which is another round roof. So first thing we're gonna do is add a ceiling to this, because then we can put a roof on there. Then we're gonna have a round roof. We're gonna make this a little bit bigger. And we're gonna make sure that the edges are extended as well. And then we're gonna move it down to make sure that it's the same height. Okay. And we're gonna do the same again. Find the roof pattern. Change that. Find the roof edge. Make that the same as well. And now our roof is done. And then we're gonna use the end key again to remove our roofs. And we're gonna remove all of our ceilings. Okay, so we have to build a ceiling first and then remove it, because somehow the game doesn't think there is a ceiling. So that happens sometimes. Build ceiling, remove ceiling. And over here, build ceiling and remove ceiling. So right now we still have an issue over here. We also have this roof. It's a little bit long. So we are going to move this back. And then we're gonna see what that looks like. Okay, so we're gonna move it back one more and extend it like this. So now we have a good roof thing that looks like it's supportive, right? So that's looking good. The bathroom, we can still build a ceiling here, and now we can copy this thing. Let's copy it. Let's put it in the same place. And now we're gonna make it smaller in this direction. Actually, we're gonna move it because somehow it ended up on the floor again. And we're gonna make it exactly 3 spaces like this. And we need to make sure it doesn't stick out. So what we just did is add a special roof here, and let's remove the ceiling over here, because now when we're going inside the house, Let's go to live mode for a little bit. So now we just, the last roof we added was this. So this is actually closed up now. So now you can see the ceiling from inside the bathroom. But, you know, it's not gonna look into the living room, which is nice if you go into tab mode and you're actually gonna look at your Sims. So if we press tab, we're at a mode where we can walk around. Let's go inside here. So now what we just did was make this look alright, because otherwise we just looked into the bathroom up there with the roof. So far so good. Everything's working out, except somehow this pillar is either gone or not visible, but that sometimes happens with tab mode. You see the pillar is still there, but we can't see it somehow. So now all that's left to do is add some windows and some furniture. And then we've got this whole thing. So outside here, we've got this little vent, which we're going to use for a section cap, and we're going to size that down by 1. And place that here. And we're going to get our windows here, also base game windows, but let's just copy them because it's easier. If we press Control F5, we can move things by half a block. So then we can choose a little bit more precisely where we want our windows to be. So, and over here we're gonna add some windows, and over there we're gonna add some windows and some doors, obviously. Let's see, one over here and one over there. And we've got these little windows. One is going into the toilets and the other one is not. Alright, so, and now we need our doors. Alright, so let's add our doors. I don't know exactly where I put that. I put that right in the middle. Alright, that makes sense. And over here, put this here. Alright. And there was a window here. So with the dot key, we can move that around. Alright, windows, doors. Of course, we need some steps. We're gonna find those here. And make them one bigger. Then we're gonna use some armrests. Let's find the right ones. Which ones am I using? Not these. I believe I was using these. Well, the steps down on this side don't really fit anymore, but you know, basically if we remove this, we can place them apart from the fact that they don't fit anymore. No mistake. But we can move the entire house. So move the house, this one, and then we can rotate it. Can't overlap existing houses. Very interesting. Ah, somehow it's not moving this room. Very interesting that is. Alright. So let's maybe not do that. We'll just not build the stairs. It's alright. So these little dragons are the reason why I wanted to use that other cheat. Because their decorations, we go to decorations, base game only. And we're going to the statues part. These are all craftables. So these are things your Sims can normally craft. But that doesn't mean we can't use them. So we're going to use the 9 key to move them up. And we're going to use the brackets to make them bigger. And with the Alt key, we can rotate them in whatever direction we like. So making it bigger, moving it up. And then rotate in our favorite direction. Alright, so we should have moved this up one more. I see that now. And this one is high enough. With the Alt key we can place it precisely, and now they are here as well. And now we just have to add a couple things in the kitchen and a bed, you know, that kind of stuff. But I'm sure you guys can figure that out for yourselves. And then we can build the same thing. So I made this by making a little planks. So we are going to build the kitchen together. Because if we're not doing that, then, well, let's just say it's not that easy. So I used the wrong one. Alright, so I'm using an end cabinet here. And then 2 of these. Then I'm just adding a sink. Let's find our kitchen supplies. So whatever sink we think is cool, doesn't really matter. There is one base game sink though you could size down, and it's not this one, it's one of the other ones. Let's filter it out to make it easier. Let's see. I think it's this one. You can size this one down and it will still fit, because the other ones you cannot size down. If you size the other ones down, you see there's a hole. So there is exactly one, the one that's a little bit wider, and that actually does work. See, this one doesn't work either. But this one does work. And it comes in a bunch of different colors, but if you use white, you will see that it doesn't 100% fit. You see the little ledge. So if you have a black counter, then it's fine. You're not going to see it, but I would suggest using one of the darker colors, and then you're not going to see it, and they'll still be able to use it. So now we're going to add our stove over here. We're going to use our suction hood overhead. This one, I think we were using. And you can already see that this is more or less lining up. Let's hover above the wall so we can see exactly where to place it. And now the air can actually go somewhere. I think it's better if you actually fix this. So, the thing with the shelves is we're not going to be able to place them right now. So that's another building trick I wanted to show you guys. So we're gonna find this place. We're gonna find this one, the Immaculate. Choose a color that sort of fits our counter idea. And we're gonna move that up. So this is going to snap to the wall. So if we don't want it to snap to the wall, we can rotate it here, but as soon as we move it that way, it's gonna snap to the wall again. So I'm just gonna put it here for a moment so we can copy it, and then we're gonna get rid of these walls. That's just temporary. But now we can rotate this, and we can move it up with the 9 key. And then we can move it down again. So the thing we're gonna need to do is size it down by 1, because it's too big otherwise, and align it nicely over here. And now we can copy it again, size it down by 1 again. And move it up again. Let's size it down. No, I didn't. Alright, so right now we should be able to place this at the exact same place and then move it up twice. Alright. We've got the same one, sizing it down once. Placing it in exactly the right place, moving it up 4 times. Sizing it down again, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sizing it down again. If you move the camera, it doesn't work. But same place. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, doesn't that look nice? Alright, so now we've got our little planks over here. I wonder if I put the other ones up 1 higher or if I had the same place. No, that's the same place. Wait, where is the other house? Yeah, did I use the same spots? Yeah. Alright. So that's all good. And now we can add our walls again. So, not by copying that. Just drawing a wall. Putting this back here again. Coloring the other side. Alright. And don't forget to color the baseboard here. Alright, and now we're all good. And we can add our fridge. And these planks, they actually already hold a lot of cool stuff. So let's get a cheap fridge just because we can. We could really get any fridge, and we're gonna use the Alt key to move it really closely. And now we can just find some clutter stuff. So over here, we've got a bunch of clutter stuff. Let's filter that. So we've got all of this stuff now because we're using the debug stuff as well. So we've got a lot to choose from, but basically we're just gonna find some knives and some other stuffs to put on there, and it's actually gonna snap to these boards, so that's going to work perfectly. So let's find the knife block, for instance, over here. And we can just put that here and then rotate it with the Alt key. Alright, so that's a little tricky to rotate it because we're a little bit close to this, so but it's always tricky to rotate something like that. So things snap to these boards. So this is actually, once you've got that, it's very easy to put this stuff in. And this actually will go onto the floor, so we can lift that again with the 9 key. And then just place it wherever we like. And if we go and look inside bathroom stuff, so we've got the kids' desk stuff, and there we can also find a bunch of bathroom stuff. And for instance, these, or let's see, not quite sure, these ones, these are the ones I used. So these will actually go onto the shelves. You're gonna size them down once and move them up by using the 9 key. And then we're just gonna put them exactly like this to make sure that the third one sticks out into the oven, which you're not gonna see, and the other ones are visible. So that's how I'm just placing some random stuff here, and that's how I'm shelving these. So the same with this cookie jar, that's gonna snap here, but if we move it around backwards, then we're not really going to see the lid. And of course we need to size this down by 1, 2 to make it fit. So just hiding the lid behind there. So this is very easy. Some cookbooks, because, well, we need cookbooks in the kitchen, right? So these are cookbooks. And, you know, just add some other random stuff that we would possibly need in the kitchen. Alright, so I'm just gonna copy these again and make them one smaller. Move them up with the 9 key. Okay, one last time. Move them backwards like this. Alright, and I'm gonna change the color, then they're gonna look completely different. Okay, so now we have our clutter. It's looking nice. And of course we've got the top cabinets. Let's go to the kitchen stuff. Top cabinets. So we want the same type. So that's this. And we're gonna use an end cabinet over here. Alright. But this build is kind of low. Alright, I'm gonna use Control F5 again, so make sure that we can no longer move things a quarter tile. And it's way easier to place this. And we're gonna size it down once, and we're gonna move it up twice. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get this one. We're gonna also size this down by 1. And we're gonna also move that up twice. And then we're just gonna move that with the Alt key and make sure it's aligned. And then it's pretty. I don't know what else I moved in here. Well, apparently I'm doing something different now, but that's alright. We can do different things, because there is multiple things that fit here. So right now I'm using this. So we've got some plates, we've got some glasses. I need to move this further in to make it look realistic. So we've got some glasses, some plates, some other stuff. And over here we have a corner cabinet that's sized down by 1 and this. So see, there's different possibilities, and got a little bit of a different suction head as well. But you know, you got the point. This window is going to be moved up a little bit to make it look alright as well. Also doing that with the Alt key. And now you can look out here while doing the dishes. Doesn't that look great? Well, we've got the chess table and all that stuff. The outside furniture, I'm using these over here. One and another one over here. And then I'm using lavender plants. And the lavender plants are actually in the tree section. And they're over here. And if we move them up once, then they're just gonna look slightly different compared to this one that's sunk into the bottom. This will actually be on the floor, you see? But if you move it up once, like this one, see it's slightly elevated, then it will look a little bit different in the jar. We need to make sure that doesn't go through the fences. Actually, this one is in a different spot. So right now it's going through the fence, so we're just gonna move it with the Alt key. And we're gonna rotate it a bit to make sure it's not in the fence. This one's going through the fence as well. So we're gonna move that forward as well. Move this a little bit too. And of course we're gonna use a garden bench that's pretty. So one of the other things we're using here is a chess table. And the chess table is found in Hobby Stuff. Chess table for Under the Stars. And now we're gonna use some chairs. So these are actually the cheapest chairs that are in here. That's also using the cheat bb.show hidden object. But they're homecrafted awful chairs. And you can actually click them if you have a workbench and craft another one. Which we're not gonna do, but this is how I made this decoration over here. And of course we have these. To make this look pretty. Alright, that's not exactly the right color. Well, and everything else, I'm sure you can imagine how that's done. We do have the bathroom. So there's a trick for the bathroom as well. You need to make sure the door is opening outwards, and the arrow is actually a bit deceptive because the arrow is actually inwards when the door is opening outwards with this door, but that depends on the door. Now we're gonna find ourselves a toilet. And we're gonna use this one. And we'll use the Alt key to move that a little bit further to one side. Then we're gonna find a shower. Let's go back to base game only. Let's get the cheap one. And let's rotate that around. And now we need a sink. So we're actually gonna use this one. But we're gonna size it down twice, and then we're gonna move it up once. So make sure you move it up once and not twice, because if you move it up twice, it's not gonna work. And now we're gonna place it on this wall. So they can still walk past this because it's sized down twice. And they can still use it. They can brush their teeth, wash their hands, all that stuff. And we're gonna add a mirror. We're gonna use this one, the tall one, because that's gonna look pretty. And we're gonna move that up too. to make it look pretty. Let's make sure it's the right height. Alright. And this mirror is gonna be functional as well. Now we have a little bit of a hanging sink over here. So with hidden pipes, because it's a hanging sink, it's gonna work. They can wash their hands here after going to the restroom, and they can brush their teeth there. They can do whatever they like, basically. So that's all good. Our doors are working, our stairs are working, and now you can just decorate the rest of this with whatever you like. Put a bed in there, and the bed will actually be functional. You do, however, need to place it in a certain direction, because if we're placing it like this, they can't get in. But if we're placing it like this, they can. So I'm just gonna put this bed here. And now they can use it. And then we want some tables here on the side. And I'm actually using some dinner tables for that and sizing those down. Which means you're gonna be in trouble again if you want to place something on top of there, but well, maybe we just shouldn't do that. So we don't want it sticking through the windows. And now we want some lights. So wall lights, I kind of like these. So we're gonna move those up by a lot again and make them one smaller. And then we can hang them on these pillars. Make this one smaller too. See if it's the same height as this one. Yes, it is. And now it isn't. Weird. Alright, so we've got lights here above the bed. Change the color of the bed. It's a bit of a weird bed, no matter what color you pick, but alright. This one fits everything else, mostly anyway. Dinner table over here. Let's get some chairs. So basically the bulk of items we now have, so we can have some decorations in here, like this pretty vase, which is huge, but we're just gonna size that down twice, and then it can be in this corner. And we still need a wardrobe somewhere. Well, we could use a wardrobe, let's just put it that way. So I used this one and sized it down by 1, which is why it's a little bit in front of the window, but it does fit. So depends a little bit, I guess, what you want to do with this window, if you want to keep it or not, but you could move it here, or you could remove it altogether. Or you can use another wardrobe. But for base game, there aren't too many that aren't too high, so maybe this one's lower. We size that down once. Does it fit then? No, this needs to be sized down twice to fit. And it will snap to this height, so never mind. Yep, this one actually also snaps to the high one. Let's see if we can move that down. Huh. Didn't even notice that, but apparently this one snaps to this position. Oh well. We can always put like this. And then it will work. Look, we can use the window again as well. Oh well. This is just an example of a wardrobe we place. It's a bit tricky to decorate a house this size. Because it's kind of tiny. So... But, you guys get the point, I guess. Let's add a little table light. Let's see if we find lighting. Let's see it's here. Wish this was alphabetized, but it's not. So sometimes it just takes a little bit to look for it. And I'm sizing this down by 1, 2. Just to make sure they can still use it, because the normal size would be one size. If you size it down, it's only a quarter. And if it's a quarter, that means they can still put plates here. Which is a good thing to know. Well, looks pretty, right? So that's how we built this house. Well, you still need a little stairs here, but that's not gonna fit, obviously, since we built it all the way over here. But it's working. So let's go into a live mode and let's check out this bed. Let's do woohoo, because they're husband and wife. They can totally do that. And then you can see that we can actually use this ceiling height and they actually fit in there. See, it's a bit low, the ceiling height, but they totally fit in there. So that's the trick, to have a round room. And this is what the house looks like on the inside. So I added a little clock there. Yeah, that is totally floating. So the reason I use these two platforms to make these stairs is because this way they're not actually stairs, because stairs can't be placed at an angle. And this can be. And since it's only 1 level high platforms, they can still just walk off there. As you saw they just did. And, well. So looking good, isn't it? Let's not go too far down. Let's see, and he is using something. What is he using? Oh, he was using that. Look at them with their cozy little room. Sitting on the bed, being all nice. And now she is using something. The shower. See, it's working. And he's turning on the fire. Look how nice that's looking. And after he turns on the fire, of course, he's going outside. Because why would you stay inside after you put on the fire? So, now we've got a little tiny house with the fireplace and everything. And it's fully functional. And I just showed you guys how it's built. Of course, we've got these little lights here too, but that's basically, you do that the same way as the little statues, so I'm sure you guys can figure it out. And, well, I guess this video is about an hour now, so we shouldn't spend too much extra time on it, but look, he's sleeping in this bed. He just had woohoo over here, and now he's sleeping in this one. Oh boy. Well, I'm pretty sure he's gonna survive that. And, yeah. So we built this little house, and it's looking great. And I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. So gonna turn my camera on for a moment so I can say bye to you guys. And if you like this video, I have more videos. Most of them are other games, but if you like it, and I might make another one. So please hit that subscribe button if you want to see some more videos. And then I can say bye and thanks for watching, everybody.